If you keep saying yes while your body goes quiet or is actually screaming no, this video is going to explain everything. We're talking today about the Fawn Response. And the Fawn Response is one of the survival strategies that our body has developed over time in order to create safety. Remember that our nervous system is really designed to create our survival, to sustain our survival. Make sure this being stays alive, keeps breathing, and the heart keeps beating. And there are a few different strategies that our body can choose in order to move away from threat, to avoid danger, and to get away from that predator. And I've said more about this in my first video in this series. This one, I'm speaking specifically about the topic of fawning. Okay, so the other strategies are fight, flight, freeze, and now we have fawning. This one, this particular one, there's not a lot of information about it, so I thought I would really focus here. Fawning has oftentimes been called in the past people-pleasing. And I don't know about you, but I don't think that when I was doing that, number one, I was conscious of it, that I wanted to please this person in order to avoid the threat that they caused me. Not at all. And when we hear this word people-pleasing, I think it gives the impression that we're choosing to do something. And I want to remind all of us that fawning is a nervous system response. It is happening faster than the speed of sound. Okay, just like if something is jumping out of the bushes at you, you're not thinking, should I run? You just run. Similarly, when there's a threat in your environment, all of us, our bodies will respond very naturally, very quickly, very efficiently to whatever that threat is, and use the technique that has been most successful in the past. This is survival of the fittest. This is pure science. So here we are, we have this innate programming within us that says, okay, there's a threat in my environment. I can't run away, I'm not fast enough. I can't fight this predator, I'm not big enough. And freezing right now wouldn't necessarily be the best approach. So we default into a response called fawning. And the fawn response is really about turning the threat off by appeasing the other person, the other situation, the conflict, whatever that happens to be, whatever is being perceived as a threat or a predator. And that can take many forms. Here's one. Oh, I noticed that you look a little tired. Can I get you something? Oh, I can tell you're upset. Do you want to talk about it? Oh, hi. So that's maybe a flirtatious mode. And maybe that's where we use our sexuality or our gender expression as a way of disengaging with whatever threat is happening. This could take lots of different forms. And I feel like this is something that we don't spend enough time on, and that's why I want to bring it to your attention. Particularly for us as women, especially if we have grown up with conditioning that says, hey, you're not allowed to get angry. Hey, you're not allowed to express yourself. Or little girls should be seen and not heard. Or there was a lot of aggression or addictions in our families, and we were defaulted into caretaking mode. If any of those ring true for you, then fawning is probably something that you should pay attention to. And I'll tell you a personal story. I read this book by Ingrid Clayton, Dr. Ingrid Clayton, called Fawning, and that was just a few months ago. And when I read that book, it's like all the light bulbs went off, because I didn't quite relate to this idea of codependency. I'm a leader in my life. I didn't see myself as defaulting to somebody else. But what I did notice was I had this tendency to go along with other people in my life. even though I didn't want to, even though everything inside of me was saying no. And I recognized through the reading of that book that I was doing it in order to avoid conflict. And I was doing it in order to minimize aggression, minimize strain. And once I put those two together, it was a light bulb moment. It was painful and thrilling at the same time. It was, oh, this is what it is. The overgiving, the overcompensating, the doing more, the being of service, the total exhaustion and a never-ending need to take care of other people. And not just one or two, many. And when I got to that realization, it was literally a light bulb. And I started to look around and I said to myself, oh, which one's me and which one is the fawn response? Right? Because once you start looking at it clearly, it is really hard to discern where those tendencies come from. Is this uniquely me, or am I doing it because of what's happening in my environment? And either way, asking these questions will be very eye-opening, very eye-opening. And what I started to realize is that I was fawning a lot around particular people. And I said, oh, this is a lot of fawning. There's a predator in my environment. Some people that I was experiencing as predators. Ooh. Now that dropped things into place really quickly. So, and that started a whole chain reaction of recognizing where I was trying to protect myself, but actually creating a lot of unsafety in my life at the same time. So when somebody is acting in a way that is threatening or predatory, and we continuously appease them, we try and cuddle up to them, we try and gain their approval, we try and disentangle their bad moods, then what we're really doing is coming closer and closer and closer to the place that is harmful for us. And that's what I want you to be aware of. That's why it's so very vital that we be able to recognize these patterns, because the patterns often come with a lot of shame attached to it. Remember, as girl children, most of us were conditioned to be nice, to be kind, to reflect on our own insecurities and our own problems and our own limitations, and let everybody else off the hook. So we are constantly making ourselves wrong, even though the wrongness is not happening here. It's happening over there. So this is the pattern of shame that keeps people-pleasing, appeasement, fawning in place. So I want you to start putting down this term people-pleasing. I don't think it actually gives weight and credit to what's actually happening, which is your nervous system responding to a very threatening kind of experience, and that we are taking proactive approach to trying to survive. And survival mode is a tough place to be in. When you're in survival mode, whether it's fleeing or fighting or freezing or fawning, all of that requires a lot of resources of our energy, our energetic resources, our hormonal balance, including cortisol and adrenaline. It takes a toll on the digestive system. It takes a toll on mental clarity, being able to make decisions for the future in order to make money, in order to make decisions about the future. So all of these pieces are really impacted. And when you start to pull your power back, when you start to recognize the patterns, and you're working with Kundalini Yoga on an ongoing basis, your nervous system will start to strengthen, will start to resource itself. You will recognize moments of safety, and you will innately be able to understand when there is a threat in your environment and choose accordingly. I'm not saying you will never fawn again. What I'm saying is that you will be able to discern safety from danger. And that is a really important piece, because part of the work of Kundalini Yoga is to help us find inner peace, inner security, inner safety, inner resourcing, inner coherence, all those things. And then once we have a taste of that, the contrast between people or environments that don't match that becomes much more clear. And then we can make good, clear decisions, okay? So I want to say this again. You can get a little sample here. I'm going to give you a practice that will help you feel good in the moment. We've talked about a lot, and you can bring that information into your system. And then I want you to go and look for my newest PTSD video and start practicing that on a daily basis. A 40-day practice will give you the kind of depth and resourcing for your nervous system that will help move things forward. In fact, I'll link that video below so that you have access to it. And remember that it's a daily practice. It's committing to yourself. It's offering yourself the time, the space, the willingness to feel better, to resource yourself so that you're not strapped and you're not feeling like everything has power over you. Okay, so that's the 40-day practice. Now let's step in and do a little bit of practice together here, really short one that will slow down urgency, because that's often how predators thrive, pushing us into a place of urgency so that we lose track of our internal compass. And that's what we want to look at, okay? So let's do the practice together. This is called 4-4 breath, square breath. Inhaling for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold for 4, okay? Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And I like to draw a box. If you're working with kids, this is a really nice way, kids or seniors, this is a really nice way to add some tactile into the breathing technique. If you like to follow along with your finger, great. If not, you can simply close your eyes and start to feel into your breath, okay? So drop your shoulders down. Bring the tongue towards the roof of your mouth and press the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth. We're adding a little bit of stimulation here. Good, so let's begin now. Through the nose, inhale for 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. And then hold the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, mouth. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. 2, 3, 4. Good. Inhale. Exhale, mouth. Hold. All right, 2 more. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Last one. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Take a moment now, integrate that breathing practice. We did it for about a minute. You can do it for a little bit longer. You can do it anywhere. While you're walking your dog, while you're folding laundry. It doesn't take much. You don't have to get to the mat. So this is a little snapshot of the kind of opportunity that you get when you're working with your nervous system, offering yourself more resourcing, and really allowing a little bit of a bridge between how you're feeling right now, a technique, and then feeling into a different kind of felt experience. So these are stopgaps. These are not meant, this alone is not enough to shift your nervous system. I'm so sorry to share that news with you. It can take 2 or 3 years to reprogramming to reprogram, to reset, to resource your nervous system. And I don't say that to scare you, I say that to be realistic, right? It's just like if you get a physical injury, you break your arm, it takes weeks for that bone to set. So similarly, when we've been through emotional trauma, psychological trauma, spiritual trauma even, that takes months, years to come back from. And we shouldn't be thinking our bodies are a machine, that all you need to do is take it to a mechanic and it's fixed. There's a lot more to it than that. It is oftentimes repatterning, looking at our belief system, speaking kindly to ourselves, changing our diets, changing our sleeping, there's a lot to it. All right, so I want to be real with you. I want to share these resources with you. I've mentioned that the path forward now is to do a 40-day practice of the Kundalini Yoga for PTSD. I'll link it below. If you want more resources, take a look at what's offered here. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can also join us for Kundalini Yoga training, where together in community, we create this embodied, consistent kind of practice. And there, you'll also have mentorship. All right, so that is the next potential step. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about how the fawn response lives in the nervous system. It is not just behavior. It is where it's coming through. And so join me for that one. Lots of love to you. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. If you found this helpful, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what really impacted you today. And then if you found it helpful, please share it with somebody else who needs this information. Until next time, lots of love.